Welcome to Rodents and Rambles, episode number 10. This episode, I was thinking we could talk and discuss the legal state of animated mice and what they have to do with relation to the U.S. legal system.
So are we breaking into Stuart Little this time? Finally?
Probably.
Okay.
So the main thing I want to talk about is voting rights, but we can talk about any other
Of course you want
law.
to talk about voting rights.
Any other... Are you attacking me right now?
No, I'm just saying this isn't unexpected.
Wait, we haven't introduced ourselves. I'm Joel Willick.
I'm Crambit.
Welcome to the podcast, Crambit.
I haven't met anyone before.
You've never met a single anything?
I just hatched out of my egg. You caught me in a net at the beach, remember?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It was an hour ago.
An hour ago when I was born.
I caught you in the net and brought you here for my podcast about animated mice.
Yeah.
How are you able to learn language so quickly?
Well, I've had an hour, but
That's
in this hour I'm not sure if I've mentally prepared myself to be talking about Stuart Little today.
I did give you a Duolingo subscription.
You did? Oh yeah, I have a reminder on my phone that's for Duolingo.
That's true, you do have a reminder on your phone for Duolingo.
Oops.
To help you learn English.
Yeah, to help me learn English.
Alright, well that audio was just...
Sorry about
scrapey
that.
Whatever.
Editing
Joel will decide if that stays in.
I accidentally dragged the machine.
So, do you not want to talk about the legal state of mice in this episode?
No, I'm fine with that.
Okay. So, I guess the preface of this concept is, if Stuart Little is a human, which according to the books he is...
Well, I think first we need to explain the story of Stuart Little to our viewers, because a lot of people don't know this, but there's actually a split canon on Stuart Little.
All right.
In the book, what happens is a human woman mother gives birth to a mouse, and then that mouse is her child, and she raises it as her child.
Yeah.
But in the movie, and I'm not sure if this is less or more unfathomable, but there is a mouse. They go to the orphanage to adopt a child, and one of the children in the orphanage that the family meets is a mouse. Mm-hmm. It's a mouse wearing human clothes, and the family chooses to adopt that mouse as their child.
Yes. So these are two separate situations that need to be discussed
They're both
separately.
very, very puzzling and troubling, because it's very strange for a human being to give birth to a mouse and then have that mouse be their child. But that even on its own seems more natural than the idea that a human family would decide that a mouse, without having any relationship to it, is now their child. And an orphanage deciding, this mouse is an orphan and needs to be one of our children in the orphanage now.
Stuart Little legally counted as an orphan.
Yeah, what was the legal process?
They went through the legal process of adoption to adopt Stuart Little. So, all right, we're going to talk about each of these. I want to start with the book. So, if we have a theoretical thing that it doesn't matter what the thing looks like or acts like or is, that one parent is a human and the other parent is a human, this thing is a human genetically, right?
Well, that's a good question. He must be a mouse genetically because he has the mouse phenotype.
In the
How
book?
did that happen? Yeah, he's a mouse.
Yeah, but
he doesn't look human, but knows that he's a mouse.
All right, if I have strawberries and bananas and I mix them together into a smoothie and the smoothie tastes like mango, is it a strawberry banana smoothie or a mango smoothie?
I feel like that's a less, there's less weight to the answer of that than what is a mouse a child that lives in our house and is our child or not.
But ultimately, the genetic side of it is that he is half human and half human, right?
Yeah, he's 100%. He should be human. There's no reason for him to be a mouse.
I think in the book, independently of what he looks like, because he has two human citizen parents, he deserves a human citizen vote as of his 18th birthday.
Will he even live that long? Because he's a mouse and they don't live that long.
Well, all right. Do children with cancer receive a vote earlier in their life?
No.
then that question answered itself.
So even Stuart Little will never vote.
If you get an unlucky side ticket in the genetic lottery, you don't get an earlier vote.
I wonder if he would live a full human lifespan.
Well, alright. I'm thinking of it as if he is a human with a extremely rare and severe genetic
that
condition.
Makes him physically in every way a mouse.
Yes.
That's his condition.
Except for mentally. He's mentally a child.
Mentally, he is completely normal,
yeah.
But physically, he is completely a mouse.
Yes.
He definitely has full human rights. If it can be proven 100% that he acts like a child, he can, like, vouch for himself, like, hey, I'm just a kid, I go to school.
The thing is, he's made of human. He's a human and human smoothie. It doesn't matter if he tastes like mouse. It's human made, right? It's a strawberry banana smoothie that tastes like mango.
It's like that drink you were talking about before, where it's like two
Thousand
random
Island,
alcohols.
Thousand Island like iced tea.
They mix two random alcohols together, and it makes it like iced tea, and that's why it's called iced tea, even though it isn't.
Thousand Island iced tea contains no iced tea, but so it's like Thousand Island iced tea is still an alcoholic beverage, even if it doesn't taste like one.
Yes.
That's
what Stuart Little is. So, Stuart Little is iced tea.
In the book, this is our final verdict.
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
He has full human rights. He is a naturally born citizen of the United States of America. He has a vote. He's registered on the census.
He's legally human in every way.
He can get a driver's license. He can, right, like every single thing that a human can do, he's good.
Yeah, he can already. Doesn't he drive a car? Like he has
like
a little
mouse-sized car.
Control
but like
car.
he would get a license through the same process that everyone else would. Now let's transition over to the movie. So I think the movie's a totally different situation.
The movie is so puzzling.
Because it doesn't answer the core question that we use to decide the situation in the book, which is, what is Stuart Little made out of?
In the movie, I don't think there is an implication that he was ever given birth to by humans, because I think that would have been a bigger deal, and they would have just had his parents give birth to him if that was the case.
Well, the reason why I think he was born to mice in the movie is because towards the end of the movie, they bring him to mice and say, these are your parents.
Oh.
And he says, oh yes, that makes sense, because my parents are mice.
But if he was in an orphanage, doesn't that imply his parents would be dead?
Maybe they abandoned him for other reasons. That doesn't. This is completely.
But we
conjecture.
have proof that his parents are mice.
Almost like we have strong evidence that his parents are mice.
Okay.
And aren't the mice that Stuart Little thinks are his parents also smart?
Yeah.
Like they walk around and talk, right?
I don't remember that.
Don't they do that? I feel like he gets dropped off and they like have a conversation as mice. And it's like, clearly Stuart Little isn't a unique concept in this world. There are at the very least multiple mice.
Do the mice have their own civilization and society and stuff then?
Well, first I want to decide Stuart Little's human rights. Then we can talk about it. So I think that, but there is a curiosity in this. So I would say he's definitely 100% mouse in the movie.
Yeah.
But he went through a human American adoption system. And we were talking about this.
That's what I'm stuck on. I can't imagine who was the first person somewhere along the way who encountered Stuart Little and said, this mouse needs to be adopted by a human family. We need to find a human family to adopt this mouse and treat it like a child.
Yes. That fact that makes me think that somewhere along the line, Stuart Little had a social security number or something that registered him as a human so that he could get into a human adoption system.
Do you think he tried to rig the system that way? Like he invented his own?
Do you think Stuart Little is a malicious player in his movie?
Well, maybe not malicious, but working the system to his own gain. Like he wanted to go to school and whatever. So he pretended maybe he went up to the orphanage and he was like, I can talk, make me a child. But every mouse can talk in this world.
Yeah.
So it must have been they never did until then.
Well, doesn't the cat also talk, but only to cats? What's the deal with that?
I don't know.
I think it's that animals are intelligent, but not to, it's not known to humans.
how could they not know? And also, the first time they find out, why is their first reaction to like, oh, I guess this one is human. This one needs to be a boy in someone's family.
I don't think that they think that he's human. I think that they think he has human rights. And if he isn't necessarily human, but he deserves some human rights, the question is, where do we draw the line?
What do you mean, where do we draw the line?
Which rights does Stuart Little get, and which ones does he not?
I think he should be allowed to drive a toy car, but not a real one.
Okay. Does he get to go to school, public school?
Of course.
Of course. Okay. Does he count in the census? Does he get a vote? I think those are the other two big ones.
Yeah.
You think he gets both?
I mean, why not? Who cares?
What do you mean, why not?
He counts as a child. They're considering him their child.
I would think that I would think that in this context, Stuart Little would not receive a vote and would not be registered for the census. There would be some landmark Supreme Court case to decide whether or not it counted, right? Nothing lower than that could give Stuart Little a vote and census power, like citizenship power, other than official verification from the highest court in the United States, because it's so unprecedented.
Little versus state of Ohio or whatever.
Do we want to talk about other intelligent life in the Stuart Little movie universe?
That was another thing that we were talking about in the past off the record that I was really also bothered by.
Yeah.
Which is that Stuart Little has some kind of mouse shenanigans that go on in his life. Even though he is considered a human child and has been adopted by a human family, he gets chased by a cat. He gets chased by an eagle. He gets chased by different animals. Like, where are his parents? Why aren't they preventing him from being attacked by wild animals? Like, it's like he doesn't have the safeties that come with being a human child, even though he is one.
If Stuart Little got eaten by the eagle, would his parents be able to receive a mistreatment lawsuit? What do you call that?
Let's start with a cat, for example. I feel like that's easier. If he got killed by a cat, I feel like the owners of the cat would be liable to manslaughter for not, like, protecting this human child from a cat.
You don't think that his parents would be negligent for not protecting him from a cat which exists in, like, a normal environment? Like, if I let my kid into the mall and I wasn't protecting them from every single serial killer.
From all the bears that were in the mall.
Let's say that malls had bears in, right? Because that's what the world is for Stuart Little.
We could use the forest as an allegory.
Yes. If a parent lets their toddler into the forest and just lets them be free, and they die to a bear
that belongs to somebody.
Is that negligence?
Yes, but it's also negligence on the owner of the bear.
It's manslaughter for the owner of the bear for not
preventing them. It would be a tricky situation for sure, but I feel like it would count as death of a human being.
I guess it depends on if it's on their property or not. The owner of the bear. I would say if it's the owner of the bear, if it's not their property, then it's negligence.
I'm still thinking about a cat, because a cat is what would be a real threat to him.
Yes.
I don't think a bear would bother him. A bear wouldn't even notice him.
Yes, but I think this is like a not terrible analogy, because it is, they let their child mouse into the street that is full of cats, and then a cat came and attacked him, which they should have known was going to occur because he is mouse-sized, shaped, and flavored.
Yeah, they should have, it doesn't seem like it should be his reality that he's chased by cats and eagles and whatever else chases him when he has a human family looking after him.
Like if you listener, were a parent and had a child mouse, you would pay the money that is necessary to give them a robotic suit so that they couldn't get eaten on the street, or whatever else is necessary, like a cat repellent or a gun, something.
He should have a gun.
He should be armed.
Yeah, I think that should be part of his rights. He should open carry.
He should have open carry. But it's...
I think they would, hey, my son is a mouse. Can you not let your cat out into our house?
It's like they have those signs, like deaf children at play.
Yeah.
Where, the parent will be like, I don't like, my deaf child might not hear the car coming, so I want to put this sign up so that... No, like, this is real thing.
Yeah, they put up a street sign that says, "My son is a mouse. Can you watch out?
Can you watch out for him?
Can everyone just be careful, please?
Don't let your cats out." This is like when someone, like, puts their phone on the floor, and they're like, "Everyone, my phone is on the floor over here.
Yeah.
Nobody step on it." So I think there's two good directions this can go. Either we can talk about the voting and legal rights of mice outside of Stuart Little, or we can talk about the legal characterization of mice.
I think we should keep on Stuart Little. We should talk about the voting rights of other mice in Stuart Little, because if they're all cognizant.
So in the book, let's talk about the book first. In the book, there aren't other mice-like humans.
There aren't? Okay.
I don't think so. No.
I don't know.
Neither
really
of us have read
don't
the
know
book.
very much.
Assuming in the book there are no other mice-like humans, this is like an easy situation.
Yeah, or in a situation where there are no other
Stuart Little is a special case.
They have society. They can all talk. They all, like, realize, okay, we had this one child that was ours. Let's together go and find him.
Yeah.
Like, as a couple. And then, do they have enough of a society that there is, like, elections within mouse society? Because then he should vote in those.
I can't help but think that if there are mice that speak and have intelligence, that they have some form of society. That doesn't mean that they necessarily live in a democratic society. But they probably have some
There's
form...
a mouse king. Little King John.
Little King John is the mouse king. Is the mouse king in the Stuart Little cinematic universe.
Yes. I'm just picturing those two animation styles together.
Joel, put a picture of Little King John on the video.
And edit it together with
next to the video of Stuart Little
CGI.
Yeah, with a hat on.
Do you think Little King John is his father?
Little King John and Little Summer Baby. What's her name?
Summer Solstice Baby. No, she's
she
Ratboy
is
Genius's girl.
But she's a human.
But she's Ratboy Genius's girl.
Okay.
I think it would be with another mouse because he looks like the CGI mouse.
Yeah. He looks, if you extrapolate, alright, point A is Little King John. Point B is Stuart Little. If I extrapolate from Little King John to Stuart Little, I can keep reaching out and find what his other parent looks like.
You've totally lost me.
Imagine.
You're on another plane of reality here.
If I have the picture of two parents, I can try and figure out what their child would look like, right?
This isn't how genetics works.
No, but it's like a thing. Like there's apps for that where you can, like, scan the faces of the parents and it
like a reverse face morph?
Put two pictures in and then it says, all right, based off of these two faces, your child might look like this.
Yeah, but how do you do that in reverse?
So if I have, it's like a triangle. I need two of the points to find the third point. It's not like a triangle.
That's not like a triangle.
But if I have any two of the three data points, I can find the third data point. So if I have the child and one of the parents, I can figure out what the other parent looks like. So if I have Little King John and Stuart Little, I can figure out who Little King John had sex with to have Stuart Little.
But you could also, you know what half of the parent looks like because he has 50% of his father's genes and 50% of his mother's genes. And if you know the 50% that are his father's genes because you know Little King John's genotype, then you know 50% of his mother's genes. So you have like half a picture of his mother. And you know which ones belong to his mother. Yeah, but that's not all of his mother's genes.
Oh, because Stuart Little doesn't have 200% of genetic.
Yeah, he doesn't, unfortunately. Or maybe he does.
Maybe he has...
Maybe that's why he's a human child instead of a mouse child. He's like...
he has massive tumors growing out of him. Because
he's just two people.
He is two people.
He's a hive mind between one human child that's somewhere and one mouse child that is where we know it is.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, I'm glad we've sorted this out.
Moving on. Last episode, we each invented our own segments. Oh. And in last episode, I said I wanted my segment to be games. I lied. I want my segment to be trivia.
Ooh.
I have some trivia Crambit will say what she thinks, and the viewer can play along at home. I'm giving you explicit permission.
I'm saying that you can't, and you have to figure it out for yourself now who you want to listen to.
Okay, so cool. This trivia is all fruit-based, and it starts easy and gets harder. First question. What fruit was the most sold fruit in the United States in 2019?
Banana. I think a lot of people would buy that.
Okay.
Is it right? Was
yes,
it right?
You're right. Banana. Banana's the most sold fruit in the United States in 2019. All right. There is a national...
Was it for the reason I thought?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. Bananas are the most sold fruit because a lot of people buy them.
Yeah.
But I was expecting more of like
a lot of people would buy them.
It's a
that's
versatile fruit.
Something that a lot of
people... It has good
people...
flavor.
I think it's something that's wanted by many.
Question 2. Which dried fruit has a national reserve?
I don't know. Maybe raisins?
Why do you think so?
What other dried fruits are there that people care about so much?
Craisins?
Okay, it's either raisins or craisins. Maybe
These first
prunes?
two are just like what are the most popular fruit and the most popular
dried fruit. Or it could be prunes or apricots or something.
Yeah, you were right. It was raisins.
Okay.
All right, this one's not a what is the most popular fruit question.
Yeah.
How long does it take for a pineapple to ripen? How long does it take for a pineapple to grow fully to ripeness?
Wait, from seed or from
flower?
From
plant. From flower.
I don't know, like 2 weeks?
2 weeks?
A month.
1 month?
Yeah, final answer.
2 years.
What the fuck?
It takes 2 years for a pineapple to grow.
That's terrifying. Wait, just from the flower? How does it last?
Maybe I'm wrong.
It might be the whole plant.
It might be the whole plant. Maybe I'm shitty at having trivia. I only had 3 questions. Next week the questions will be better.
Wait, now I'll ask you a trivia question.
Okay.
Wait, edit it out while I think.
Future Joel, I want you to leave in this whole segment of Kira just thinking about
I'm trying to think of something that I know that you don't that I can ask you for trivia.
Okay. I don't know very many things, so.
What percentage of an iceberg is above the water?
So I'm gonna say it's a very small amount. I'm gonna guess 10%.
That is perfectly exactly right. Good job.
Thanks. Look, if I have an ice cube, is an ice cube 10% above the water and 90% below?
Yes.
That's just like
that's
the concept.
That's a property of ice. That's like the relationship of density between ice and water. And I have another Arctic question for you.
Wait, I have a question. Okay. I have a trivia question. If I have a boat that is partially submerged in water, so it's floating on top of the water, is the water that is displaced by the boat, does it weigh less than the boat, the same as the boat, or more than the boat?
Doesn't it depend on the boat? Or is it always the same?
For all boats.
I think probably more because water is heavy.
The water that is displaced by something floating in it is the same as the weight of the thing.
What? That's cool.
And it has to do with buoyant forces.
That's a cool thing.
Do you want to say your trivia?
Yeah. What species on Earth has the most biomass in it? Like if you weighed every single instance of the species on Earth, it has more than the sum of the weights of any other species.
Fire.
That's not that's not a valid choice of an answer.
Okay, it's gonna be.
That doesn't even have a weight.
What do you mean?
How much does fire weigh?
But there's so much fire, it doesn't weigh anything. Well,
there could be any different,
like
different amount.
Fire's a chemical reaction.
It's an abstract concept.
All right.
It's just a theory.
Whales.
No. But close.
But they're so big.
Yeah, but there's not that many
there's
of them.
only a few whales. All right, fine.
They've been so much killed.
Should I give like a real answer?
And also, there's a cool trophic thing about it.
It's probably like a bug or bacteria, if I had to guess.
Well, I've limited it to animals because bacteria.
It's not.
Like.
But it could be a bug. It's not a bacteria.
It could be a bug, but it's not. Bacteria wouldn't count because I think bacteria there's like more of them than there is animals in mass. And
well,
also
it's tricky because
there's
I'm
not species. There's
like,
not as clearly
like,
defined species.
I go and stand on the scale and it says I'm 145 pounds or whatever, but some of that is the bacteria that is inside of me.
That's not how I'm counting it.
But it's like a tricky way of counting it. It's like if I have a frog living inside of me.
Just wet weight.
This question has a lot of specifications.
It's just an animal. Just any animal. Which animal?
Probably a cheetah.
Instead of whales, you're going with cheetah?
Yeah, there's so many of them, and they're really heavy. All right.
Yep, that was it. And that's also why I started the question as being about the Arctic.
All right, what's the answer?
The answer is Arctic krill. Which
Really?
is why it's close to whales, yep. Because each krill is, like, pretty big, and there's, like, millions of thousands of billions of them.
That's so many.
I don't know
Millions
the number.
of thousands of billions?
A lot number of them. And they swim together in a bunch, and they live in huge amounts, and whales eat them.
Yeah. But when a whale eats the krill, do you still count the krill that are inside of the whale?
No. They eat bits and pieces.
Bits and bobs.
Bits, this and that.
Whatever they could find.
Yeah.
So leftover pizza.
Yes, they eat pizza, they eat chips.
No, like whatever's in the fridge.
Yeah, they eat whatever's in the fridge.
We've got this fried rice from last week.
They just eat whatever's lying around, yeah.
All right. If I had to guess the thing, if I gave a genuine guess of the living thing with the most biomass, it would probably be like seaweed.
Seaweed, that's an interesting
choice. Because there is so much underwater stuff, and I don't know how diverse underwater biomes are, but it's like, isn't the fun fact like 2/3 of the Earth's oxygen comes from plants that are underwater?
Yeah, but that's not because of a high amount of biomass. There is like a complicated thing about this, about like the pyramid of biomass in the world, and like in the ocean and land it's different. You know something that is interesting? The biomass order goes from animals are the smallest, then it's like bacteria, and then it's plants.
Yeah.
But that's mostly because of trees, because trees have so much biomass. Like, if you think about one tree, the amount of biomass that's in it, because they grow huge and tall, and they're all over the land. There's so much biomass in trees. It's like the most thing.
Well, trees are tricky because they're mostly not very edible.
Yeah.
They're good at that.
That's their clever trick. They have cellulose.
Like, that's part of why humans are good, is because even if a tiger went through all the work of, like, catching a human, which is gonna give a hell of a fight, we don't have very much meat. Like, we have a lot of bones.
Yeah, I was also thinking that
and a lot of
an equivalent you could say about the development of cellulose, like evolutionarily, and its like resistance to being eaten, is plastic. Because when trees first evolved cellulose, it was this hugely great thing, because nothing, like barely anything can eat it.
Yeah.
They need special bacteria that are like specially developed to remove it. And, like, termites can eat wood, but like they have all this specialization so that they can do it.
Yeah.
And, like, we just invented this new substance called plastic, which is so resistant to breaking down that nothing can do it.
Yeah.
Like, when wood first evolved, there was probably just a ton of it lying around that couldn't break down because nothing could do that.
Yeah. There were probably, like, giant fires.
Yeah.
Like, because you would just have piles of wood all the time, and it wouldn't decompose, so it would set on fire.
Pile up. It would be a hazard.
It's like humans, if something came from something that was alive, there's a 99.9% chance that a human can eat it, right?
Plastic? No.
No. If it's made out of plant or it's made out of animal, it's like, I can eat a flower and digest it and get some energy from it.
Unless poison.
But I'm saying 99.9%. Like, yes, there are poison glands and there are bones.
I think it's very bold to assume that you could eat 99.9% of things that are alive without any problems to you.
No, but it's just that whales can eat krill. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
They can't eat any other kinds of animal. They can't eat any other kind of animal. They can't eat any plants, right? They eat one thing.
Well, they might eat something else. They could eat fish
not only do we have both
too.
kinds of teeth, we have a very, very special gut that is capable of digesting like a ton of different things.
Not me.
I'm not saying specifically you, but like
that's true. We're like, omnivore.
We're omnivore, and we're like even better. Like raccoons are omnivores, or dogs are omnivores. And
yeah,
dogs famously
can't
eat a handful of fruit. They can't eat chocolate. They can't eat like all kinds of stuff, and it's because their gut, their stomach is less capable of digesting things. And it's like humans are so good we can eat chocolate, which is poison to like almost everything.
But dogs can eat raw meat and stuff without as much problems as we.
I think we can you can eat raw meat. It's just that sometimes there's disease in it.
I think that dogs are just better at eating some things that we aren't too.
Yeah. So like a dog can like really tear through a bone.
Yeah, they could do that.
That's the noise that dogs make. When they eat bones.
Yeah, when dogs eat bones and they make that noise.
And they're really good at they have a very specialized snout so that they can fit their whole head into a peanut butter jar.
Wait,
and they can more efficiently eat peanut butter.
Does Stuart Little eat human food? Do you ever know that from the movie or book?
I don't remember.
Do they have to feed him like seeds or whatever? Wait, but mice will eat anything. Mice eat just whatever humans leave on the ground.
Yeah, like pizza.
Yeah, so Stuart Little could just eat anything.
Yeah, he's probably fine.
Yeah.
He'll eat some grapes or something.
He'll just eat their garbage. They can just keep their garbage and give it to him, and he loves it.
Mom, Dad, I'm hungry, and they're like, okay, and they pick him up and just put him in the trash can.
Yeah. Well, they maybe don't keep it in the trash can. Maybe they have like a little dish for him that's like our scraps, like our compost bin. It's for
like
Stuart
the
Little.
Trash can has a little hole in the bottom that like
pours
out into a tray.
There's like a ladder, like a little spiral staircase built into it somehow that like they made so that he can get into it.
What do you think Stuart Little's favorite food is?
Something like funny and charming. Pickles.
Cheese puffs, Cheetos.
Cheese puffs, Cheetos, yeah, definitely cheese puffs or Cheetos.
It's like it's funny because it's cheese flavored, but it's a human food.
Yeah.
Like mice don't eat Cheetos; they eat cheese, normal cheese.
Dorito.
Yeah, they eat Dorito. What do you think about Doritos' recent ad campaign? Bless you.
Bless you.
Do you know the one I'm referring to?
No.
I've been getting these ads where they're like, our product is so, like, they don't say that it's a Doritos ad. They just say, our product is so famous that we don't even need to say it. And then they have a bag that's just red. And it's like, we're not going to show it, we're not going to say it, but you know what it is.
I don't think I would. Maybe I've seen that, but not recognized it as a Doritos ad.
They say, like, they, like, allude to that it's Doritos. They're, like, these like, blank chips. Or they say it rhymes with Sofritos or something.
Oh, Tostitos.
Yeah, Tostitos. I love Tostitos.
That seems like a stupid way to advertise chips because people don't want to eat chips because they're famous.
No, but it's just that they're iconic.
I guess, but I would want to eat something that tastes good, not iconic.
Yeah, like Pringles.
Yeah, like Pringles. That's
you keep
what
buying
I want.
Pringles.
Well, I got them for free the second time.
Yeah, but you do keep buying them.
I do. But I like them.
That's true. I like them too. I eat them.
Me too.
Do we want to close this up?
Sure. I hope you have a good night. Or good morning if you're just waking up.
Close your eyes. Lay down on your bed and close your eyes.
And go to sleep. Wherever you are and whatever time it is.
Yeah.
And imagine.
And imagine that I'm kissing you on the forehead. And I tuck you in and like really tightly like wrap the blanket around you.
And then just as you're drifting off to sleep, you feel my hand grab your ankle and drag you onto the floor and like down a hallway and you're screaming.
All right, good night.